So after a couple of absolutely wild years of growth, Bitcoin's momentum just slammed on the brakes in 2025. It came to a screeching halt. So what happened? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what led to this unexpected turn and dig into why some experts are calling it a reset for the entire crypto market.
And this slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? You have the expectation on one side and the reality on the other. Investors were totally geared up for another year of huge gains. But what they got was, well, a market that pretty much went sideways. So what on earth caused this sudden shift?
All right, to really get why 2025 felt like such a letdown, we first need to rewind and look at the incredible hype that came right before it. I mean, the market was on an absolute tear and expectations were just sky high.
I mean, just look at these numbers. In both 2023 and 2024, Bitcoin delivered returns of over 100%. When you're seeing gains like that back to back, it is so easy to start believing the party will never end. This created this massive wave of optimism that honestly set the stage for a major disappointment.
And then 2025 happened. After 2 years of those huge triple-digit gains, the market ended the year down about 6%. Now, okay, that's not a catastrophic crash, but it was such a sudden and unexpected stop to the rally that it left a lot of investors just scratching their heads.
And what added to the hype was the political climate. A new presidential term was starting, and many investors were banking on crypto-friendly policies that would make it way easier for big institutions to jump in. So this expectation of a new flood of money made the market slow down even more of a surprise.
But yeah, that optimism, it faded. And it faded fast as the market ran into a whole series of major challenges. So now, let's break down the headwinds that brought that big rally to a halt.
So what went wrong? After 2 years of just incredible growth, why did Bitcoin suddenly hit a wall? As you're about to see, there wasn't just one single answer.
Yeah, it wasn't like one single roadblock just popped up. It was more like the market hit a wall of resistance. A combination of factors created this perfect storm that was just strong enough to stop the bull run dead in its tracks.
In this slide really breaks down those key challenges. First off, a lot of investors just decided to take their profits off the table. I mean, after 2 years of massive gains, can you blame them? At the same time, we saw global liquidity tighten up. Put simply, that just means central banks were hiking interest rates, so there was less easy money to flow into assets like crypto. And on top of all that, you had this lingering uncertainty about regulations and the health of the economy in general, which made investors pretty cautious. But here's the thing. A down year doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, some analysts argue that this pause was a totally necessary reset for the market. Let's explore what that actually means.
Think about it like a marathon runner. You can't just sprint the entire race. At some point, you have to slow down, catch your breath, and save up some energy for the next stretch. That's basically what the market did in 2025. These kinds of pauses are a really natural and frankly healthy part of any market cycle.
So instead of looking at 2025 as a failure, we can reframe it as a market reset. This is a period where all that speculative craziness dies down and the market gets to build a much stronger, more stable foundation for future growth. We've seen it happen before, and it's often a sign that a market is maturing.
Okay, so if 2025 was the year of the big reset, what does that mean for 2026? Let's now shift gears and look at the factors that could really drive the next phase of growth for Bitcoin.
And here's where the good news comes in. Despite that pretty disappointing performance in 2025, a lot of analysts are surprisingly optimistic about 2026. They're pointing to a number of potential catalysts that could spark the next big rally.
This slide highlights those key catalysts. Analysts are watching for renewed interest from big institutions, the big money, and a stronger global economy certainly wouldn't hurt. They're also looking at the effects of the recent halving event. That's that built-in feature of Bitcoin that cuts the creation of new coins, which reduces supply. And on top of all that, you just have the steady, ongoing adoption of crypto by mainstream companies, which could give the market a real boost.
So after a year of consolidation, of just kind of treading water, the big question on everyone's mind is Bitcoin poised for another major rally? Let's think about what the future might hold.
And this, right here, is the key takeaway. The whole narrative is shifted. The conversation isn't about the disappointment of 2025 anymore. It's all about the potential of 2026. The market is looking forward, not back.
So, has the 2025 reset built the foundation for the next major bull run? Look, there are definitely no guarantees here, but the pieces seem to be in place for another one of Bitcoin's famous surprises. The question might not be if, but when.